More young workers are skipping college to focus on a trade career. Enrollment jumped 16% in vocational colleges last year. Mike Rowe is with us this morning, the dirty jobs guy. That's a 16% increase in enrollment in these trade schools. That's huge. How come there's such a shift away from colleges?
Well, because people are starting to pay attention, Stuart. You know, you and I have talked about this a bunch. It's a bit like turning a tanker around. You're talking about perceptions and attitudes, stigmas, stereotypes, all sorts of things. People in a lot of ways need to be deprogrammed about this idea that the best path for the most people is a 4-year degree, coincidentally the most expensive path. So Gen Z just happens to be on the tip of the spear at the moment. And that article in the Wall Street Journal is filled with data that, well, a little too early maybe to take a victory lap, but I've been at this for 16 years now. And parents and kids alike are starting to get the message that trade school is an amazing opportunity with just a fraction of the debt, if any at all, and a clear path to something that looks a lot like prosperity.
I mean, it's the sheer cost of college that's really intimidating. We've got, believe it or not, there are 4 colleges which this fall could cost up to $95,000. That's tuition, room and board, $95,000. You see that price tag and you start thinking again, don't you?
Well, I mean, that's for a year or a semester. That's not for the diploma. You can do that times 4. It's all over the place, man. I mean, it's so expensive that for as long as I can remember, we really haven't talked about it in terms of a purchase. We talk about it in terms of an investment. But people are starting to smell a rat there too, right? A thing is either affordable or it's not. And you can either attribute an ROI to it or you can't. I think more and more people are starting to look at that diploma on the wall and seeing it for what it actually is, which is a receipt.
But one thing you don't get is the university experience, mixing with other kids and youngsters of your own age and similar background, probably. You don't get that, do you?
No, you don't. And that's a fair point. But what exactly is the university experience today? From what I've seen, it varies dramatically from college to college, university to university.
Sure.
I think we're going to be entering a whole new time, Stuart, where the smart money is going to be go to a trade school and learn a trade. And then, look, your liberal arts degree is right here, right? If you have an internet hookup, you have access to 98% of the known information in the world. I agree. You don't have the student union. You don't have the coming together and the exchanging of ideas in person. All that's important.
True.
But at any price?
Right.
How many kids right now? 50% of people who start a college pursuit don't finish. Those people, their debts aren't forgiven, right? You still owe a bunch of money. You don't have the degree. You don't have any training. We've got 10 million open jobs right now that do require training without a degree. Yeah. So I think Gen Z is just starting to realize they've been pushed in a direction that, frankly, doesn't lead to a place they want to go.
After all these years, Mike Rowe, things are turning in your direction. It's a wonderful thing to see. Well done.
Well, thank you. You know, we've got $1 million we're giving away right now over at MikeRoweWorks.org.
How do I apply? How do I apply?
MikeRoweWorks.org. You fill out the application process. We do this every year, usually $2 million a year for the next generation of skilled trades. So honestly, if your viewers, kids, grandkids, who's ever listening, plumbing, steam fitting, pipe fitting, welding, carpentry, it's all there.
You're good. I'm out of time.
It's a straight path to a 6-figure
Hard break.
job.
I'm going to get cut off any moment. Mike Rowe, you're all right, and that's a great program.